Alright, today we're going to make a cartoon mashup. So, what we're going to do first is let's get the background that we want to use. So I already did it, but I'm going to type in forest, and for the background of our canvas, it's important that we get a large image so that it doesn't become blurry and pixelated when we pull it into Photoshop. So to do that, search what you want to search, click on images, and then right here click search tools and size, and let's say large. Alright, so I'm going to choose this one, and it's important to, instead of just saving the thumbnail here or saving it from here, you want to click to view image. And a lot of times the images might be blocked, but you'll see that this is a much larger image than if we had just saved from the thumbnail. So once you find an image, you right click on the image and say save image as. And I'm going to rename this forest background. I'm going to know where I saved it, so I'm going to save it to my desktop and click save. Alright, and you see it over here. And now I'm also going to save a couple of characters just to show you for this exercise. So I search for Dora the Explorer, and with the characters it's not as important to do the large, but you would go here and click large like we just did. So I'm going to open this one in a new tab, we'll do this one. Okay, so view image, save image as, name this Dora 1, and then view image. Oh, that one's blocked. Let's try this one. View image, also blocked. View image. Okay. Alright, there we go. Right click, save image as, Dora 2. Alright, so I have saved a few images that I'm going to use, so I can close out of here. Okay, so let me open up Photoshop. If you can't see it in your dock, go up here and search for it with this little search icon. You type Photoshop. Alright, so Photoshop's opening. Give it a moment. Okay. Alright, it's being a little slow. Okay, so you'll see my background still showing through. That's totally fine. We're going to do a few things. So let's first go to File, New, to create a new canvas. I'm going to title this Cartoon Mashup. Make it 11 by 8 inches and 300 resolution. Push OK. Alright, so what I'm doing here is essentially think of this piece of paper like a piece of paper that you'd use in class, in art class. And I'm going to pull my images into Photoshop. I'm going to copy and then take them over to this canvas and paste them, just like I was cutting out things from a magazine and then pasting them onto a sheet of paper. So here's my canvas. I'm going to go to File, Open, and I'm going to open I'm going to open my Dora picture. So I find the picture, It's on my desktop. I find it. I double clicked, or you can click open. Okay, there you go. So you see how a new tab was created? Just like in the internet, when you create multiple tabs, that's like the same thing in Photoshop. So I'm going to open my other one too, so you'll see. File open. My Photoshop is slow today. Okay. And then I found my picture. All right. So you'll see there's multiple tabs here. All right, let me show you one thing. If we were going to go to full screen mode, like some of y'all like to do, then we lose our tabs, and that can get kind of confusing. So I'd like y'all to stay in standard screen mode. So even though you can still see behind it, at least you'll see all your tabs here. All right, so now for our background, instead of going to File Open, we're going to go to File Place. We're going to place our background onto our blank canvas. So I double clicked or clicked and selected Open, and now I'm going to hold down Shift while I'll show you. If I don't hold down Shift, then my Photoshop would cooperate. If you don't hold down Shift, the dimensions can get messed up. But if I hold down Shift, then they stay intact, and I won't lose any of my dimensions, and I can keep it all the right length and height. Okay, so I should have showed you. Let me backtrack a second. File, place, background. Okay, so you see this X that is showing up right here, X, and then this plus sign and the stop sign. That means that this action is still taking place. You need to finalize this placement. So you can't do anything. See, I couldn't do file new, edit, image, like all this stuff's grayed out. It's because you're in the middle of this. So you either need to hit return or enter on your keyboard, or hit the check sign that you are finalizing this. Or you can cancel and not finalize it. But I'm going to hit the check mark. And then also, if something's blurry, oftentimes when you finalize it, it kind of clears it up and puts it back into focus. Alright, so here's my background, and here's Dora. So there are two ways that you can get your character onto your background. We're wanting to isolate this character from this background, because see, if I took her and put her directly onto my background, the white would still be there, and we don't want that. So I'm going to go back in my history panel. I went back a step. Let me go back to her. So what I'm going to do, because there's this white background and a pretty distinct border between the person and this white background, or it could be black or whatever. There's a solid color background. I'm going to use my magic eraser, which if I right click on my eraser, I find the magic eraser. The magic eraser is really cool. It'll erase everything of similar color. So I just click once on the layer that I want, and all my white background will go away. Alright, now if you do that and your character is now isolated, not bound by the background anymore, you can use your move tool and click and drag and bring to the tab where your background is, and then drag it back down and let go. And there she is. Let me zoom out so you can see everything here. So if you do Command or Control minus, you can zoom out. and then Command or Control plus will zoom back in. Alright, so door is really big here. So what I'm going to do is use the tool Command or Control T to bring up my transform box. If you don't use the shortcut, you can also go to Edit, Free Transform. Alright, so again, if I hold down Shift, the dimensions will still stay the proper dimensions. I'm going to just drag her to a smaller position. If I don't hold down Shift, she gets weird. So I'm going to hold down Shift and have her look like she's running in the woods. And then hit Enter to finalize it. Alright, so that's one option, using the magic eraser. The other option, so see these guys are, I couldn't just use the magic eraser on these. So what I'm going to do instead is use the magnetic lasso tool. So right click on your magnetic lasso, or on your lasso, and select the magnetic lasso. So what the magnetic lasso does is it kind of grabs onto your selection automatically. And it's not perfect, but if you go short and small little pieces, you can select it pretty good. Go all the way around. And see how it's trying to grab the purple, but I don't really want that. So I'm just gonna work with it, do little tiny clicks, and try not to go too far between each click. So yes, this is a little more time consuming than the magic eraser, but you can't always use the magic eraser. Okay. Alright, I'm just going to do this very sloppily so I can finish. So you would do this much better, slower. You see how even with me being fast, it's still kind of grabbing it, but just not very well. So I'm going to go quickly around to where I started. Alright, so right where I am started, and you can see there's a tiny little circle that pops up by the cursor where I started. If I click once, or if I click to finalize it, you see all the little, kind of what I call little ants running around. That means you selected that. So great. You selected a portion of your layer. So we only have one layer here, but you want to make sure you're on the right layer of whatever you're wanting to copy. So if this monkey, I need to make sure that I'm on the layer that contains the monkey. So I'm going to go to Edit, Copy, and go back to my canvas, and now I'm going to say Edit, Paste. And now I have my monkey. So if I use the Move tool, I can move him around. I can use Command or Control T or Edit, Free Transform to make him bigger or smaller. I have to hit Enter or click the check mark to finalize it. And I can do Command or Control plus to zoom in, or use the zoom tool right here to get closer to my monkey. And now you can use the eraser, the normal eraser, and make it pretty small. And you can go in here and clean this up. Okay. Alright, so you would go through here and with a steady hand try to get rid of kind of the stuff that you messed up with when you grabbed or what you weren't able to get effectively with the other tool. Make them not look so raggedy. Alright, and so on. Alrighty. So you go and do that. You can even use the magic eraser at places. You know, it's just getting the like colors. Alright. Now, if you need to go back, if you messed up with something, just click back in the eraser. You can go back multiple steps. But you can't go back forever. So you can go back to a certain point. You can also do Command or Control Z to undo. And then, let me go ahead and show you. Say I wanted these guys really close. I wanted the monkey to be right in front of Dora. So you see, the monkey right now is on this layer right here, layer 2. And I know that because I can open and close the eye to temporarily open and close the layer. If I wanted Dora in front of the monkey, I could just need to drag Dora on top in my layers panel. Now she's in front of the monkey. But I want the monkey on top. So I'm going to move the monkey on top of the layer, and now they're there. Okay. And then when you've gotten all your characters on it and you've cleaned it all up and it looks good, you go to File, Save As. And if you're still working, your format needs to remain Photoshop.psd. But if you're done, you can go to Format and change it to a JPEG. And you'll see it changes it to .jpg here. That would make it an image, a non-editable image file. And you make sure you know where you save it, desktop, and then save. And that is all you need to do.